Hello everyone, this is Stefan from Lush and Salty Aquariums. I hope you're having a good day and a good week and a good life during these difficult times. Today I want to look at, as I pan up and down, my desktop aquariums. Now, I've just focused on this tank with its lovely gold neon tetras. Doing so well, very happy with it. It has the palm that emerges. You can get those anywhere. I found those in Chinatown. It has a bacopa plant which is growing from the ground up and out, and then duckweed and frogbit on the top. Inside, a lovely colony of Anubias petite on top of the driftwood, a carpeting plant called Monte Carlo, which I have in all of my tanks. Of course, the lovely gold neons, and then my favorite plant, the cryptocairn in the back, which forms those willowy stems and purple-green leaves. This tank has a pretty standard clip-on Phoenix light, as well as a inexpensive hang-on-the-back filter. All of these things can be bought online for a modest fee. This aquarium is about 5 gallons, and what's neat about it is it has these rounded clear edges. Snobs in the hobby tend to want to get away from the black rimmed variety that you get at Petco. I have one or two of those as well, and I don't want to be a snob, but I just love the way those look. This little aquarium is one I have yet to do a video for because I have a fluval CO2 kit in the way. For one thing, it has a curved glass because it's a jar, so that makes filming really hard. So that's reason number 2 I haven't done its own video. And reason number 3 is it's in between two more compelling tanks, I guess, for lack of a better word. No less beautiful in its own way, but you get the idea. In any event, I'm going to try to focus more on this one because what it does do is add to the overall awesomeness of the desktop. And it has one primary inhabitant, this female blue betta fish, which I've had for a long time. It was just a tiny juvenile when I got it, so while it's very big for this jar, she's been in it forever, so that can be a bit of an excuse, but it allows her to feel comfortable and safe. I should pull a bunch of these plants out, but the jungle is the look I'm after, and so if I pull out down here, that means I don't get this fantastic effect up here. Now these are bacopa plants, and they're all flowering. Isn't that incredible? All those little purple flowers, you gotta love it. So it grows just as well in and out of the water. I could easily cut these stems and stick them in the substrate as many hobbyists do. Like if I put them in here or here, and they would grow. As a matter of fact, I have one in this tank that's growing specifically out of the bottom, and you could see its stem. Let's see if we can find it. Voila, you see in the back there, that's the stem that goes right up, and is that plant there with the flower on top. So in the jar with the betta fish, I also have some cryptocairn and Anubias petite, and one piece of wood over a substrate of fluval aqua soil, and that's about it. I run an air stone in this tank. You can't even see the bubbles, but it does feed oxygen into the water. Not that these plants don't, but the agitation moves the water, keeps it from going too stagnant. Obviously all the roots add to the general vibe of this aquarium. There's a really badass looking snail, ram's horn, and up here I've got the redder variety, but this is a pretty cool hybrid with those zebra colors. I don't even know, that just grew up in there. There's some more standard brown ones. So The betta fish, where they come from, they live in dense, stagnant water with tons of plants and roots. So I'm thinking she is okay in there, and she certainly looks good, fat and happy. But these are Bacopa, as I said, and they're easy to grow. There's millions of videos about them online, and I have not seen the flowers before except for in this vase, and I'm really happy with that. Vase aquariums are so cool. I've got one other one, but it's a great way to start into the hobby or to expand from typical aquariums. And they also can find unique and unusual places in your home, like a corner table, a coffee table, places where you wouldn't put an aquarium. And the jar itself, you can get a Crate and Barrel or the Container Store for less than $20. And finally, this is a Fancy Pants ADA cube tank, which I've put on this nifty stand that has its nanolite feature. I found that online, so it's got the little base made of bamboo that you can place the tank on. It's not part of the ADA cube system, but once you start researching online, all these pieces can come together. And in here I have a lush, dense grouping of classic aquarium plants: Monte Carlo, Anubias Petite, Crypts right there. You saw the Bacopa in the back growing up and through. And then let's look at the moss here that's growing on this bogwood or spiderwood. When the Bacopa covers it, the shade allows this to get really dense and green, and when I trim it, it tends to die back from the heat of this light. But either way, it's not going away. And then I have duckweed and frogbit, which create that canopy that helps diffuse the light and gives the fish even more things to hide and have fun in and nibble off of. This is called Japanese clover. I have it in a bunch of my tanks. You can float it or plant it. It adds a wonderful elegance. There's a cherry shrimp, and I have tons of them in this tank. I've shown videos where they're all out feeding on algae wafers, and there's got to be 100, maybe more. There's a hybrid variety. Now in this tank, I also have ruby tetras. You can see them back there. I have about 4 or 5. They don't move around a lot. I feed them baby brine shrimp, just like I do the gold neons. But you can see how much more active these fish are. And really, that tank isn't much bigger than this one. This fish is just more sedate, at least in this aquarium they are, and probably because of how dense and I don't want to say confining, but there's so much plant growth and not as much water column that this is how they've adjusted to their living space. So the overall effect of my desktop is one of green, green, green. And I enjoy working on this tank, and even though there's hardly any water space or real estate, if you will, I've always got my hands in one of these babies. All right, everybody, thanks for watching and subscribing. Ciao for now.